Hello, in this video we are going to try to add, subtract and multiply two complex number. Okay, so let us first look at adding and subtracting complex numbers. So first of all, I'm going to use three example to illustrate this point. So let's look at the first example, which is 3 plus 7i plus 2 minus 4i. So this is adding two complex numbers. So let us look at the number b. The second problem, which is 5 plus 9i minus 6 minus 8i. Okay, so this is my second one, and the last one is c, which is 2 plus square root of negative 9, then minus 2. Well, I think I need to do a little bit of alright, so it is minus and then minus 2 plus square root of negative 4. Okay, so these are my three examples where we are going to try to do adding and subtracting two complex numbers. So let's start with the first one, the easy one. So here let us try to take out the parentheses. So here I have 3 plus 7i. Okay, and then as it is a plus sign, so it is just plain taking out, so it will be 2 minus 4i. Now what I am going to do, I can add only what? I can add only real with real. So I can add real number 3 with real number 2, so it will be 5, and then I can add imaginary with imaginary. So here I have positive 7i, here I have negative 7i, so in total I'm going to have positive 3i. So this is the answer for the first one. So we add successfully. Let us now look at the second one. So as usual, first I'm going to try to take out the parentheses. So what I have, the first one is easy, 5 plus 9i. Okay, and then second one, look at here, I have a minus, so that means minus 6, and minus multiplied by minus 8i is going to be plus 8i. Okay, now again we are going to try to add real with real. So 5 minus 6, it will be negative 1, and then imaginary, so positive 9i positive 8i is going to be positive 17i. Okay, so that is going to be our answer for the second one. Okay, now let us look at our third problem. So again we are going to first of all, here we need to express the square root of negative 9 and square root of negative 4 in terms of I. Okay, so we need to express those in terms of I. So let's first take out the parentheses. So 2 plus and square root of negative 9, and here negative multiplied by negative 2 become positive 2, and negative multiplied by positive, it will be negative square root of negative 4. Okay, here again we did it in the previous video, so it is 2 plus, I can write it here, square root of negative 1 square root of 9 plus 2 minus square root of negative 1 square root of 4. So what I get 2 plus square root of negative 1 is I, and square root of 9 is 3, plus 2 minus square root of negative 1 is I, and square root of 4 is 2. So now let's add, so 2 plus 2 is going to be equal to 4, and then positive 3i, negative 2i is going to be positive 1i. So positive 1i. So that is our adding two complex numbers. So these are three example we did. Okay, now let us try to multiply two complex number. Okay, so multiplication is also pretty simple, but again we have to do it. Okay, so multiplication of two, so multiply two complex number. Okay, so let us again let's try to write down a few problems. So first of all, let me write down one problem. So let's say I have 3 minus 5i multiplied by 2 plus 7i. Okay, so we are going to try to multiply these two number, and of course I'm going to use FOIL method. Okay, so what method I'm going to use? FOIL. Okay, and you are all familiar with that method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first multiply 3 with 2, so it is going to be 6. Then I'm going to multiply 3 with 7i. So 3 multiplied by 7i is what? Plus 21i. Okay, now let me use another color so that we are okay with that. So now I'm going to multiply negative 5i with 2 first. Okay, so negative 5i multiplied by 2 is negative 10i, and then negative 5i multiplied by positive 7i is going to be what? Negative 35i square. Okay, so let us see what I have here. So I have here 6 plus 21i minus 10i minus 35 is 35. Now what is I square? If you remember, I square is negative 1. Okay, so that's from the definition of our complex numbers, it is negative 1. So what I am going to have here, 6 plus 21i. So what I have? Plus 21i minus 10i. So I have plus 11i, and then negative 35 multiplied by negative 1, it will be positive 35. So in total what I have, 6 plus 35 is 41. So 41 plus 11i. Okay, so that is the way we multiply two complex number using FOIL method. Okay, so that is our first multiplication. So let us see if we can multiply some more problem. So first of all, let's try to multiply a different problem, which is 3 plus square root of negative 2 multiply 1 plus square root of negative 32. Okay, so these are two complex number. Now as you can see, these two complex number are not using I. So first of all, we'll try to use I, or we'll try to convert this into I. So let us see what I have. I have here 3 plus, so square root of negative 2 is what? Square root of negative 1 square root of 2, right? And then 1 plus square root of negative 1 and square root of 32. Okay, so here what I have 3 plus, so I, and then square root of 2, and here I have 1 plus I square root of 32. Okay, so now let's multiply one by one. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply 3 with 1. So I have 3, and then 3 multiplied by square root of 32i. So I'm going to have what? Plus 3 square root of 32i. And then I am going to try to multiply square root of 2i with 1. So I get plus square root of 2i. And then I'm going to multiply square root of 2i with I square root of 32. So let's do it one by one. So it is going to be what? I, and I is I square, and then square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 32. So it is square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 32. Okay, so that is so what I have. So now let's see if we can simplify a little bit. So it will be 3 plus 3 square root of 32i plus square root of 2i, and remember I square is -1, so -1 square root of 2 square root of 32. Okay, so this is actually one way. So you can simply leave it here. So that is the multiplication, but of course we can do more simplification. So let me try to do the simplification so that you can use it. So let's see what the simplification I can do. So 3 plus 3 square root of 32, I can write it what? For 16 multiplied by 2. So I can write 16 multiplied by 2i plus square root of 2i, and I can write square root of 2 again 32. I can write 16 multiplied by 2. Okay, so what I have, 3 plus 3 is 3 square root of 16 square root of 2i plus square root of 2i minus square root of 2 square root of 16 square root of 2. Now as you can see, what I have, 3 is 3 here plus 3 square root of 16 is 4. So 3 multiplied by 4 square root of 2i plus square root of 2i minus square root of 2 become 2, and square root of 16 become 4. So I have 3 plus 3 multiplied by 4 is 12 square root of 2i plus square root of 2i minus 8. So what I have, 3 minus 8 is what? Minus 5 plus, look at here guys, what I have, 12 square root of 2i and square root of 2i. So 12 square root of 2 and 1 square root of 2. So in total it is become what? 13 square root of 2i. Okay, so that is the simplification. So that is actually our multiplication of two complex number. Okay, so that's that's it for this video. So in the next video we are going to try to learn dividing two complex number and also complex conjugates.